For the first time in America East history, the men's and women's basketball championships will be held on the same weekend in the same city. Join your team at the 2010 America East Men's and Women's Basketball Championship presented by Newman's Own. Tickets are on sale now. Call 860-768-HAWK or visit americaeast.com. And the banner is hanging high here at Patrick Gymnasium to celebrate last year's champions in women's basketball, the University of Vermont. Can the Catamounts repeat here in 2010? That's one of the big questions as we take a look at our women's basketball preview. The party was a long time coming for Vermont, but it was well-deserved when they celebrated a championship last season at Hartford. They knocked off the top two seeds to take the title, a focused group that's focused again.
It worked out perfectly. I mean, if you had asked me in January, we were a little frustrated. We dropped some games we shouldn't have, but when I listen to our players talk about the experience, they talk about resiliency and just sticking with it and just make your decision that you're not going to lose.
There's a lot back for Vermont. First and foremost, Courtney Pilipaitis and May Katsopoulos. 4-year starters, perennial all-conference selections, and looking for an encore performance come championship time.
They're tremendous leaders. There's so many times of practice where they literally stop a drill because they're not satisfied with the work ethic. So it's really something to watch.
But right there with Vermont is Hartford's senior duo. Diana Delva and Erica Beverly are both 1,000-point scorers and give the Hawks a dominant presence in the post. Can they finish their careers with the title?
It is scary to think about them being seniors, but at the same time it's exciting because I feel like there's a sense of urgency. They are stepping into a much newer role for them. Even though they've been our leading scorers in the past, I feel like they're taking that to a whole new level this year because, you know, the guys that they've been used to playing with are gone, so they've really had to step it up.
Those are the established teams at the top, the old guard, if you will. There are plenty of contenders lurking if those two stumble, starting off with Binghamton. They made it to the semifinals last year, and with plenty back from that team, the Bearcats want to take the next step.
It's not just good enough to make it to the semifinals, you know, come close to getting to the finals. You know, it's time for our program to take that next step forward and get into the finals.
UNH was devastated by injuries a year ago. If they can stay healthy, they'll be able to stay with anyone in the league. Candace Williams led the team in scoring last year and led the league in rebounding. She leads a deep group of experienced players. After going undefeated in conference play last year, Boston University is rebuilding, but with talent. Kelly Greenberg says this freshman class is ahead of where last year's talented seniors were when they were freshmen. Allie Hinton is the most experienced player on the Terriers. On the opposite end of the spectrum from BU is UMBC. They returned 96% of their scoring from last year. Carly Cassidy has led the league in scoring the last 2 seasons, but she's the only senior. Look for the underclassmen to be more in the mix on offense. Key players are back for Stony Brook, like do-it-all forward Kirsten Jeter, who was a third-team all-conference selection a year ago. 4 sophomores and 5 freshmen dominate the roster at the University of Maine. They'll look to a trio of seniors to lead the way. And Albany picked up where they left off last year. They won 3 of their final 5 games and gave top-seeded BU a scare at the championship. They won 6 games in non-conference play to get going in the right direction this season, heading into America East play. Once the regular season schedule ends, it's on to Hartford for the 2010 America East Championship, presented by Newman's Own. Then something new. The championship game will take place the following weekend on the home court of the highest remaining seed. Coming up, Commissioner Patrick Nero checks in on what's ahead for the conference in 2010.
When we look back and we evaluate a combined championship, I think the one piece that people will be surprised about is what it's done for our women's championship game.